Hey everybody, good morning. It's about 8:43 on this Saturday. I could say Saturday morning because, well, just like last week, my mom is off at a training. Or at least she should be getting to her location at her training by now, which is in Livermore, and it's only 3 hours, so not as much time as last time, but still. Essentially, it's actually 4 hours. It's 3.5 hours, considering that she's got to come back and stuff. So, but anyway, I thought I'd kind of give you a bit of a review. Kind of talk about and review basically a software that, if you've gotten Windows 7 and you have Windows 8, I'm pretty sure you have installed automatically into your system. And that is the Windows DVD Maker. Now we all remember when Windows first, really came around with like Windows 5 and then XP. And one of the highlights of both systems was the Windows Movie Maker. Hold on for a second. But again, like I said, one of the highlights was the Windows Movie Maker. And the Windows Movie Maker, again, hold on. Had to put the bird in the other room. But anyway, like I was saying, the Windows Movie Maker was probably one of the most looked upon, or looked up, well, not looked up to, but one of the most looked forward to. I'm sorry, I'm still waking up a little bit. Like I said, it's past 8:45 now, so still waking up. But like I said, the Windows Movie Maker was one of the most looked forward to or anticipated portions of Windows XP and Windows 5 and whatever Windows came around that time, around that time frame. So anyway, that was one of the most anticipated, if not one of the most popular portions of that software. Well, as we got into Windows 7 and in Windows 8, Windows Movie Maker was still being talked about. People were wondering, will it still be around? Well, answer was yes. You just had to do what was known as Windows Live and use it that way. Although it was a lot more different than what you were used to. And I'm pretty sure the same goes for Windows 8. But when these two components, software updates or upgrades for the Windows program for Microsoft were announced, one of the programs that was looked forward to the most, in my opinion, from what I can understand, especially with Windows 7 and there's no doubt with Windows 8, was the DVD Maker. See, the DVD Maker was something that a lot of people have been waiting for quite some time. Now we know there have been other different DVD makers and all of that. But some are very limited. This one is also limited, but not as much as those others. Some are limited to just about an hour, maybe half hour, you name it. This allowed you to basically burn a DVD with up to nearly 10 minutes, nearly and basically being 10 minutes off, but nearly 3 hours of footage. That's right, 2 hours and 50 minutes of footage. Well, about that you could record, or not record, but you could input onto this DVD. Now, we're not talking about a DVD that you turn into a DVD-ROM. No, we're talking about an actual DVD, something like this. And one of the unique perspectives about it was just like with, let's say, when Windows Movie Maker came out, it gave you the options to create your own menus, to create your own, to add your own music. Now, when I talk about create your own menus, on the side, when you first started using it, it gives you an option of different menu designs. So you could choose out of those which ones you wanted, but you could also choose what backgrounds you wanted. That's right. You can actually use a picture that you would have uploaded or downloaded. You could actually use a picture on that, on the DVD as your menu. You could also use it for your foreground picture, mainly your main picture on your main menu picture. And you could use a background picture, which would be a picture for your background, which would be the picture on your main menu, as well as on your scene page, so on your selection page, or your selection menu as well. Another aspect about this program is it allows you to choose what different size windows you want, like different screen windows. You could choose circles, traditional squares, window-like types, kind of like have overly shape, that kind of stuff. The only thing that has given me a problem is you got to deal with the buttons they give you. You know, the back and forth buttons. Sometimes they'll give you a stamps for your back and forth buttons. Sometimes they'll give you hearts. Sometimes they'll just give you a traditional back and forth. You name it. That's the only problem. They don't allow you to change the buttons. But they do allow you to use the font that you want for your DVD, for your title, for your play and scenes picture, or for your title of play and scenes, as well as for, again, the title of what your DVD is. Now, you don't necessarily need to go by the words play and scenes. You can actually change those up. You can actually change them to whatever you want. If you want to change the play button or the play word to, let's say, the movie title, and just click on the movie and just say, hey, I want to click on the movie title and start the movie, there you go. If you want to go down and you want to say, and you want to keep chapters, or you want to keep the scenes or chapters, or you want to change it to word chapters, or you want to change it to words like, oh, I don't know, action, or movie chapters, or whatever you want to name it, you can change it to that. You can even add notes as well. You can even add notes as well, so that helps out. You know, you can do a lot of things. Things with just, with the font itself. You can do a lot of things with just the font itself. So that helps out in the long run. It really does. You can do a lot with that. Now, I'm pretty sure the most obvious question is, to anybody that's new to it, what kind of format, excuse me, I'm pretty sure you're wondering, like, what kind of format can I use? What kind of format can I use in this whole entire thing? Well, you got different choices. Some you can't use and some you can. Excuse me. Like I say, some you can use, some you can't. The ones that you can use are things like AVI, I think MPEG-1, Windows Movie Video, WMV. And I think those are the three of the most popular ones. I don't know about MOV, or MPEG-2, or MKV. I don't know about those ones just yet. But I do know that the three I mentioned are your best choices. Now, the other ones you can't do though are MP4, which is crazy. You would think, well, that's kind of Windows related. Why can't I use it? Well, obvious reasons. They don't support the format. Again, like you say, you would think that's crazy, but they don't support the format. At all, because I think it's already a format that's perfect for DVD, especially if you play it on your Xbox 360 system. Now, exactly what happens when you do this? Now, probably the question you would have is, okay, I have my format and everything, but what happens? How long does it take? Well, all depending on your format, it should take and the length of your movie or what you're putting on there. It all depends on that. You see, last night, one of the torrents that I did, one of the last torrents I've ever done for a while, was Star Chaser: The Legend of Orion. And what happens is I was watching it on the DVD-ROM I saved it on. And it looked okay. It looked like it was a 2.35, maybe a 1.85. I gotta look again. But if it's like that, what happens is the DVD maker will take a format like that, and they will either keep it the way it is, or they will make it into something else. For example, if it is 2.35, the most likely scenario is it'll either stay that way, or they will format it to 1.85. And I'm pretty sure that's what they did with this one. They put it to 1.85. Now, if it's a 4:3, if you will, if it's a standard version, 4:3 if you will, not 16.9 or anything, but a 4:3. If it's that, then there's no doubt it will remain that way. It will. But again, it all depends on what your format and what your video format looks like, what screen ratio it is. For example, again, I downloaded a couple months ago a torrent, believe it or not, of Wreck-It Ralph. It was the torrent of the HD digital release. And I tried putting that I put that on there through Windows DVD Maker. And I think it was the MKV format that I was able to use. And the way it came up was, it kind of looked like it was a 1.85, but you basically had to use stretch, if you will, the stretch mode on your HD TV to get into real full screen, if you know what I mean.